Most people think the danger to their heart lies in big things, like high cholesterol, lack of exercise, or stress. But what if one of the most harmful habits is actually happening in your kitchen, late at night? If you're over 60, what you eat after sunset could be doing silent damage while you sleep. You might believe a small snack before bed is harmless, maybe even necessary to avoid waking up hungry. But science says otherwise. Certain foods, especially when eaten at night, can raise your blood pressure, spike your blood sugar, interrupt your sleep, and inflame your arteries, all of which increase your risk of heart attacks and stroke. This video is for anyone who wants to protect their heart, sleep better, and age with confidence. We're going to uncover the 7 foods seniors should never eat at night if they care about heart health. You'll probably be shocked at how many of these are in your regular rotation, but don't worry. For each food, we'll also offer simple swaps and solutions that make your evenings safer and more satisfying. So grab a cup of tea, sit back, and let's start with the first food you'll want to rethink, starting tonight. 1. Refined carbs. Let's talk about one of the most common and sneaky culprits in every senior's kitchen: refined carbohydrates. You might not realize it, but eating foods like white bread, pasta, crackers, or sugary cereals before bed can quietly sabotage your heart health, especially after age 60. Here's why. Refined carbs are stripped of fiber, nutrients, and anything that slows digestion. That means they break down into sugar fast, causing a spike in your blood glucose levels, and just as quickly, a crash. This roller coaster effect doesn't just disturb your sleep. It also increases your body's stress hormones like cortisol and insulin, both of which are linked to high blood pressure and inflammation, 2 major threats to heart health. And that's not all. When you eat refined carbs at night, your body doesn't have time to burn off the excess sugar. So what does it do instead? It stores it as fat, often around your belly and internal organs. That kind of visceral fat is especially dangerous. It raises your risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and metabolic syndrome. You might be thinking, but I only have a small bowl of cereal before bed, or it's just a few crackers with cheese. But the timing matters. At night, your metabolism naturally slows down. Your insulin sensitivity drops. Your heart rate lowers. Your body is preparing for rest, not digestion and fat storage. So if you're over 60 and serious about protecting your heart, it's time to say goodbye to those late-night refined carbs. Swap that white toast for a small handful of nuts or a slice of avocado on whole grain toast earlier in the evening. Or, if you're craving comfort, try a warm chamomile tea with a piece of dark chocolate. The goal isn't to starve, it's to choose foods that support your heart, not stress it. Because what you eat in those final hours before bed doesn't just affect your sleep. It echoes through your heart, your blood vessels, and your energy the next day. And over time, those small evening habits add up to either protection or risk. 2. Processed meats. Let's talk about something that shows up in many dinner plates and late-night snacks: deli meats, sausages, bacon, and hot dogs. These processed meats might be quick, tasty, and even comforting after a long day. But for your heart, especially after 60, they're one of the most dangerous foods you can eat before bed. Why? First, processed meats are packed with sodium, sometimes double or even triple the amount found in fresh cuts. When eaten at night, this overload of salt increases fluid retention and raises your blood pressure while you sleep. That puts stress on your heart when it should be recovering. But sodium isn't the only issue. Processed meats often contain preservatives like nitrates and nitrites, which are linked to inflammation and blood vessel damage. Over time, this low-grade inflammation contributes to atherosclerosis, the hardening and narrowing of arteries, and increases the risk of heart attacks and strokes. And here's something most people don't realize. When you digest processed meats late at night, your body has to work overtime to process heavy proteins and fats. This disrupts your sleep cycle, raises cortisol, and can even spike nighttime blood sugar. That's a triple threat for seniors with heart concerns or diabetes. What about turkey slices or lean ham? Even these seemingly healthier options often contain hidden additives, excess salt, and low-quality fats, especially when bought prepackaged. The illusion of health doesn't protect you from the damage they cause at night. So what's the alternative if you're craving something savory after dinner? Try a few slices of avocado with lemon juice and herbs, or a hard-boiled egg paired with unsalted almonds. These options offer healthy fats and protein without the inflammatory baggage of processed meats. If you're used to having a slice of ham or salami before bed, this change may seem small, but it can make a big difference. Cutting back on processed meats, especially at night, is one of the most protective steps you can take for your heart and blood pressure. Because the truth is, these meats may be convenient, but they come at a cost. And over time, that cost shows up in your arteries, your sleep, and your energy. Your heart deserves better, and so do you. 3. High-sodium snacks. They might seem harmless: a handful of chips while watching TV, a few salted peanuts before bed, maybe some cheese crackers, or even that light popcorn you grab to satisfy a late craving. But these high-sodium snacks, especially when eaten at night, are silently putting your heart under pressure. And the older you get, the more dangerous they become. Here's the problem. Most high-sodium snacks are processed, meaning they contain not just salt, but a mix of additives, flavor enhancers, and unhealthy fats that keep your body inflamed long after your last bite. And that salt? It doesn't just affect your taste buds, it affects your blood pressure. Eating salty snacks before bed raises your blood volume, forces your heart to work harder, and increases the risk of nighttime hypertension. That's when your blood pressure stays high while you sleep. A serious risk factor for stroke, heart attacks, and even sudden cardiac events in the early morning hours. For seniors, who often already struggle with blood pressure or take medications to manage it, these late-night snacks can undo progress made during the day. You might feel fine at the moment, but your heart is silently struggling, trying to pump against the pressure of extra fluid and sodium in your system. And let's not forget how sodium impacts your sleep. Studies show that excess salt intake at night can cause restlessness, increased trips to the bathroom, and lower sleep quality. And poor sleep, in turn, increases cortisol and insulin resistance, two things that make heart disease even more likely. So, what's a better alternative when that craving kicks in? Try unsalted air-popped popcorn with a sprinkle of turmeric or cinnamon, or cucumber slices with hummus. Even a few plain almonds or cherry tomatoes can satisfy that need to munch without overwhelming your heart. Remember, it's not just about what you eat, but when. Eating salty, processed snacks before bed puts your body into high alert mode when it should be winding down. And over time, these tiny habits can add up to big problems. Protecting your heart doesn't mean you have to give up flavor. It just means choosing foods that support your heart's rhythm rather than disrupt it, especially in the quiet, vulnerable hours of the night. 4. Sugary desserts. Dessert before bed might feel like a well-deserved treat. A slice of pie, a few cookies, or a scoop of ice cream to end the day on a sweet note. But for your heart, Especially if you're over 60, these sugary indulgences are doing far more harm than you realize. When you eat sugary desserts at night, your body is forced to process a rapid spike in glucose when it should be preparing for rest. This spike causes a surge in insulin, your blood sugar regulating hormone. Over time, repeated nighttime spikes can lead to insulin resistance, a key driver of type 2 diabetes and heart disease. But that's not all. Sugar triggers inflammation throughout the body, particularly in the blood vessels. It stiffens arteries, raises triglycerides, and depletes magnesium, a mineral essential for healthy heart rhythms and blood pressure. All of this makes it harder for your cardiovascular system to function smoothly, especially during sleep, when your heart needs to rest and repair. And let's not forget the sleep disruption. High sugar intake at night can lead to blood sugar crashes a few hours later, waking you up with restlessness, anxiety, or even heart palpitations. Poor sleep affects everything: weight, blood pressure, mood, and appetite the next day. It creates a vicious cycle that gets harder to break as you age. You might think, it's just one cookie, or I need something sweet to sleep. But these habits, night after night, quietly add up. For seniors, they not only increase the risk of weight gain and heart disease, but also cognitive decline and fatigue. So what can you do instead? Try a warm cup of herbal tea with cinnamon, or a small bowl of unsweetened Greek yogurt topped with a few berries. Even one square of dark chocolate, at least 70% cocoa, can satisfy your sweet tooth without flooding your system with sugar. It's not about giving up dessert forever. It's about choosing what nourishes your heart, not what taxes it. A good night's sleep and a healthier heart begin with what you put on your plate, and sometimes what you leave off it. Because after 60, your heart has worked hard. It deserves peace at night, not another sugar rush to battle. 5. Fried foods. They're crispy, golden, and deeply satisfying. But fried foods at night are one of the worst things you can eat if you're trying to protect your heart, especially after 60. Whether it's fried chicken, onion rings, French fries, or even tempura vegetables, the danger doesn't lie only in the taste. It lies in what these foods do to your body while you sleep. Fried foods are typically cooked in oils that are high in trans fats or unstable at high temperatures. These fats increase LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, while lowering HDL cholesterol, which is the protective kind. That imbalance hardens your arteries, thickens your blood, and makes your heart work harder with every beat. And eating them before bed means your body has no chance to burn off the excess. Instead, it stores the fat, especially around the abdomen and liver, both closely linked to heart disease and insulin resistance. But the trouble doesn't stop there. Fried foods are incredibly difficult to digest, especially at night when your metabolism is naturally slowing down. They sit heavy in your stomach, delay the transition to deep sleep, and increase the chances of acid reflux, which disrupts both your sleep and your blood pressure. And if you think that switching to air-fried versions solves the problem entirely, think again. While air frying is a better option, the issue also lies in the breading, the sodium, and the calorie density of these foods. Even lighter fried snacks can spike your triglycerides, clog your arteries, and cause nighttime inflammation that stresses your cardiovascular system. Studies have shown that people who regularly consume fried foods, especially at dinner or before bed, have a significantly higher risk of developing heart disease, high blood pressure, and even heart failure. This risk only increases with age, as our bodies become less efficient at processing and repairing the damage. So, what's a better option? If you're craving something savory or crunchy, try roasted vegetables like zucchini or sweet potato wedges. You can also crisp up chickpeas or kale in the oven with olive oil and spices for a heart-healthy snack that satisfies without sabotaging your sleep or circulation. The bottom line is this: fried foods at night may bring momentary comfort, but they create long-term harm. Your heart needs calm, clean fuel to recover at night, not another battle to fight in the dark. 6. Full-fat dairy products. There's nothing quite like a slice of cheese before bed, or a creamy glass of milk to help you wind down. But if you're over 60 and care about your heart, full-fat dairy products in the evening might be working against you, quietly raising your risk for cardiovascular issues while you sleep. Full-fat dairy, including whole milk, cheese, cream, butter, and ice cream, is high in saturated fats. These fats increase LDL cholesterol, which clogs your arteries and forces your heart to work harder. Over time, this increases your risk of heart attacks, strokes, and high blood pressure, especially if consumed late in the day when your body is slowing down and preparing for rest, not digestion. Many seniors experience slower digestion with age, and full-fat dairy only makes that worse. Its dense fat content can cause bloating, indigestion, and even acid reflux, all of which can disturb your sleep and leave your heart working overtime instead of recovering. And when sleep is compromised, blood pressure, inflammation, and cortisol levels all rise, creating a chain reaction that's especially risky for older adults with pre-existing heart concerns. Some people believe dairy helps with sleep because of the tryptophan content in milk. But studies show that any benefit from tryptophan is minimal, especially when offset by the heavy fat and calorie load of full-fat dairy. That creamy bedtime snack might feel comforting in the moment, but it often leads to restless sleep, midnight awakenings, or that heavy, sluggish feeling in the morning. All signs your heart and metabolism were struggling to keep up during the night. And let's not forget about the hidden sugars in many dairy products. Flavored yogurts, frozen desserts, and creamers often come loaded with added sugars, which cause glucose spikes and increase belly fat, both of which are linked to heart disease. So, what can you enjoy instead? Try a small cup of unsweetened almond milk warmed with cinnamon, or a spoonful of low-fat Greek yogurt with a few berries. These options are lighter on your digestive system, gentler on your heart, and less likely to interrupt your sleep. After 60, every bite matters more. Choosing dairy alternatives at night can mean waking up with clearer energy, better blood pressure, and a heart that feels supported, not strained. 7. Caffeinated foods and drinks. Most people associate caffeine with morning routines, that first cup of coffee, a midday pick-me-up, or maybe some dark chocolate in the afternoon. But when caffeine creeps into your evenings, it can quietly wreak havoc on your heart, your sleep, and your long-term health, especially after age 60. Caffeine is a stimulant. It raises your heart rate, increases blood pressure, and triggers the release of stress hormones like adrenaline. For younger people, the body can usually process and flush caffeine out within a few hours. But as we age, our metabolism slows down, meaning caffeine lingers longer in the bloodstream. That late-night cup of tea or piece of chocolate may still be circulating at 2 or 3 a.m., keeping your heart on high alert when it should be resting. What many seniors don't realize is that caffeine isn't just found in coffee. It hides in surprising places: black and green tea, energy drinks, chocolate, even certain over-the-counter medications, and healthy protein bars. And while the dose may seem small, repeated exposure in the evening hours can lead to poor sleep, nighttime palpitations, and elevated blood pressure overnight, all major risk factors for heart complications. Sleep and heart health are deeply connected. During deep sleep, your heart rate slows, blood pressure drops, and the heart finally gets a chance to repair and recover. But caffeine blocks this process. It delays the onset of deep sleep, shortens your total sleep time, and increases nighttime awakenings, especially in older adults. Over time, this sleep disruption can lead to higher inflammation, insulin resistance, and irregular heart rhythms. If you've ever woken up with a racing heart, tight chest, or anxiety in the middle of the night, your evening caffeine habit might be the culprit. Even a small square of dark chocolate or a flavored green tea can be enough to throw off your rhythm. So what's the solution? Switch to herbal teas like chamomile, peppermint, or rooibos. If you crave something sweet, try frozen banana slices or a few blueberries instead of chocolate. And double-check any sleep aids or nighttime snacks for hidden stimulants. Protecting your heart at night isn't just about what you eat. It's about what you quietly consume without thinking. After 60, small choices make big differences. Let caffeine work for you in the morning, and let your heart rest peacefully at night. Before we move on, I'd love to hear from you. Have you noticed any foods that disrupt your sleep or affect your heart at night? Share your experience in the comments.